What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. I am joined by none other than one of the regular guests of the show, Ignacio, the controversial one. How you doing today, sir?
Holy shit, Chaos. It seems like it's been a lifetime since, with everything that's going on in the wrestling business, it seems like it's been a lifetime since I've been on the show.
Definitely. It also feels like as soon as you don't show up, all hell breaks loose.
Absolutely. But I feel good. I feel good. This week was tailor-made for somebody like me who likes to rant and rave about what's going on in the wrestling business. And I even got new glasses so I can see through Soul's bullshit, but he's not going to be on the show today. So.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, unfortunately, Soul couldn't be with us today, but he said, yeah, he can't wait to see what obviously your thoughts on all the madness that's happened of this past week. Yeah, it would just be like we're going to be just delving into what Ignacio thought of Clash of the Castle, All Out, the aftermath of All Out, and some new news that's come out about Roman Reigns, which we'll obviously go delve into. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and get ready to go nuts on the keyboard with your responses to Ignacio's thoughts on everything that's been happening. So yeah, without further ado, let us take it to the table. Yes. All right. So where do we begin? All right. So obviously throughout the build up and obviously the fallout of Clash on the Castle and All Out, unfortunately Ignacio was not here for to give his twos on everything, but this is what we're here for now. Yeah, let's pretty much just go into start off with Clash of the Castle because that was the initial first pay-per-view. Also, if guys, you haven't seen the vlog that we've put up about obviously our time there and the aftermath at Clash of the Castle, it's up now on Wrestling Republic. Make sure you go and check that out. But yeah, start off as an overall show and how it was put together. What was your thoughts on Clash of the Castle? Ignacio.
I thought it was pretty good for what it was. I think the overall it was better than it was better than an average show. I mean, there of course, just like anything else, there were some things I really liked, some things I absolutely didn't like, but overall, I think it was a pretty strong show for WWE. It seems like this year, as far as the pay-per-view, they've been delivering overall, I believe, and they have a lead up against AEW. That's for sure, in my opinion. My opinion is close to as fact as you can get. Of course, everybody knows if they watch the show here. But yeah, I think overall it was good. I won't go match by match because everybody's digested and regurgitated all the stuff that's been going on this week. So
yeah,
some of the stuff I did like, I think universally, and after watching SmackDown last night, did you catch SmackDown last night?
Yes, I watched it. Yep.
Okay, so I think universally, I think the MVP of the show was absolutely, and I think it was reinforced yesterday by watching SmackDown last night, was Sheamus.
Yeah.
After like 13 years or almost 13 years, I believe, maybe almost 14 years. I don't know, but Sheamus has been in the WWE for a long time, and I don't think a lot of the newer fans or anybody who's tuned in for the last 5, maybe 10 years, Sheamus has been in WWE for like almost 14 years already. That's insane. And he was really hot at the beginning. Triple H even thought that he was at one time or another that he was going to be the next big thing, and he was a top guy for a while. But It just seems like, especially the last few years or so, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, that they've had him stuck in the middle of the card, lower the middle card, and then like a preliminary guy. But I think after what everybody saw on Saturday, that he's in line for a career resurgence, and that's a good thing because I like Sheamus because he works hard, he's got a look, and when he's serious and WWE decides to book him seriously, we saw what he could do on Saturday with Gunther, because I thought that was the match that stole the show, and a lot of people believe the same thing, that him and Gunther put on a tremendous performance. And last night on SmackDown, that was reinforced because we're gonna get into All Out and the what they have, like 3 trios matches or some shit.
Yeah,
dude. last night on SmackDown, and for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, go back to SmackDown on whatever streaming service you have. That opening match on SmackDown, it was the Brawling Brutes and Imperium, which is now
Yes,
back
Imperium's
together, and I'm
back.
so happy for Walter and Imperium. So back that they're going to feature him on the main roster, dude. That's the 6-man tag match.
It was
That's
good.
the way you do a quote unquote trios match, as the young fucks would say. That's the way you do a 6-man tag match, dude. And 90% of the match was in the ring. They were tagging in and out. They were beating the shit out of each other. They took it seriously. So, yeah, I think coming out of the Clash of the Castle, the MVP definitely was Sheamus, because we pretty much everybody knows what Gunther can do and what he has done.
Mm-hmm.
But Sheamus, yeah, he's up for career resurgence, and I'm glad. It seems like we're going to get 2-3 matches out of this, and I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going on to the main event. I'll jump to the main event here. A lot of people are disappointed at the outcome.
Not
I'm
me.
sure you people over there. What were they going to do? Were they going to riot over there? Did everybody have the pitchforks and the knives and everything and the torches? And
I think people were too dejected. Like if you saw my vlog, literally, I was in the front. I was on the floor seats, and everyone was just gobsmacked. They were just the air got sucked out of the room. They were just too dejected to even really, it was me and probably maybe like 5, maybe 10 other people that was cheering for Reigns. But everyone was Team McIntyre. The whole place he probably got the second biggest pop of the night, Drew McIntyre. Besides Edge. I think Edge got the number one. But yeah, everyone was Team McIntyre. And when it happened, when Reigns got the 3, people were too pissed off. Like they couldn't even be bothered to riot. Seriously, it was good.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned the Edge, because I'm gonna come back to that. But did everybody really think that? Everybody really thought that McIntyre was gonna take the titles?
Yeah. They thought that. Yeah, I thought they were going. Everyone thought it was Team. Everyone was Team McIntyre. I was the only one that was. Of course they would. Yeah, obviously he's the hometown guy and stuff. But yeah, he wasn't the guy. Come on, everyone knew that.
Oh.
People with actual sense knew that. And that was me and
the people. Yeah, it's just I didn't think there was a chance he was going to do it. I mean, there was a few times. Look, as far as the match overall, I liked the match. I didn't have a problem with the match. I thought it was pretty good. I like the way they introduced Silo Sikoa, right? And I'm glad he's on the main roster. This gets another maybe match from Drew McIntyre for Roman Reigns, and coming up, and I guess we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But I didn't have a problem with the match. I thought it was good. I thought they told a good story. I thought the way they introduced Silo Sikoa was good. I thought the outcome was what I expected. I mean, the delusional people around this country in your area or whatever didn't think that was going to happen. I don't know what they were thinking, but I like the match. I like the fact that they're continuing this championship reign and story with Roman Reigns, because it makes whoever's going to beat him more legitimate and better and legitimate. Yeah. It's going to make him special. So I don't have an issue with it. And as far as an overall show, I thought it was a plus. How about Austin Theory coming down? Theory came down, and I'm like, oh shit, don't tell me they're gonna do this, because I really thought when I saw it, I'm like, holy shit, and then gets knocked the shit out of him by Tyson Fury. That was good.
Cream cracker, definitely.
when WWE does like the entertainment bullshit like that, they do it good. When it's something of a serious nature or what have you like that, I thought it was good. It was a good main event overall. I liked it. You mentioned, who'd you mention? Oh, Edge. What was the pop with Edge? Is Edge like a god over there or something, or what was that all about?
I mean, I don't know. I think probably it was because like he's someone that hasn't been in the UK for years. And obviously he has the awesome theme music. I was really surprised that he got that big of a pop, but yeah, he was.
They were throwing babies in the air and shit.
Say again?
They were throwing babies in the air and shit when he came out. Like, it was like, damn.
Yeah. It was I think it was just the fact that he hasn't been to the UK in years, probably not even during when Insurrection was down here or Rebellion. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I think it was just so good to see him back, and it's only like, how often you're gonna get to see see Edge in person, and I think that's why. So yeah, that was about it really. But yeah, that was an entertaining match. What do you think of the aftermath on that though?
Well, I mean, geez, every time I just see these segments come out with all these guys, I'm just reminded of how disappointed I am as far as why didn't they leave Edge into Judgment Day? Because this was like tailor made for a group that he could lead, and the stories just wrote themselves because they needed what that group needed or needs is a leader, like a veteran leader, to kind of guide them through promos and matches and so forth. And Edge can still do that from the other side as being a babyface against them. But I just thought he just fit in better with the group, and I think the majority agree with that. Now
Well, the
the
thing
match.
was, so just to
Go
say
ahead.
this, obviously the reason that he left because I think when Vince was in control, he said he wanted it to be more supernatural, more like, and you kind of see them elements. I remember, I think when they were feuding with AJ Styles, you see him doing all that paranormal, supernatural stuff, and he did not want to do that. So that's why he said, "You can have it, you're gone." And even when he left, they were still kind of like alluding to the supernatural stuff. And then obviously when Triple H came in, they kind of dropped that shit. So I think that's why. But yeah.
Well, good for him. Good for Edge anyway. But yeah, it's just, and then by the time Triple H took over, I think maybe Triple H might have thought, well, maybe we can ease him back in there. But it's just like, you know what? You can't just really undo this shit. It's wrestling, you can, but not in a way that the fans are gonna digest it and react to it well. So he just said, "Fuck it," threw his hands up. Anyway, so let's get to the match. And dude, she doesn't even have to wrestle, but coming out and just being around involved in these segments and these matches, dude, Rhea Ripley always comes out as the star.
Yes.
Of everything she's involved in. And she's not even wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, it's just her look, her demeanor, the little stuff that she does, her facials and all that stuff, that she's coming out the overall star in this. Like, I love Rhea Ripley. I can't wait. I met her last week, 2 weeks ago. They came down here to Houston, Texas. Very nice person. Big girl. I like her. I like her a lot. So she's going to be the star when all this is said and done.
Yeah, Triple H will do her well. Do a way better than what Vince did with her initially. So yeah, she'll do very well.
They're doing the Steve Austin thing with her because back when Austin broke his neck or what have you, I think it was the first time, was he couldn't contribute in the ring, but they still had him on TVs doing promos, doing segments, kicking Vince in the balls and stunning him and stuff like that. They kept them active on TV. And I think that's what they're doing with Ripley, right? They're keeping her active on TV, keeping her around, giving her promo time, keeping her on camera. And that's a good thing. So yeah,
100%.
she's going to be the star when it comes. Now, as far as the match, I mean, the finish, it didn't make sense to me that Dominic, he trips, was it Balor, and then Edge nailed Balor with the spear or something, and then they got the pin and they got the win, and then we saw the afterbirth of this, of what happened. Just Dominic just had an epiphany and just decided to wail old Edge in the balls. And it just facial reaction. He looks up at Dominic and why, and he drops down. Shit, that was good. It was all right. I didn't get as far as like, okay, so he helps them win and then they lose. He helps, and then in the aftermath, then he turns on them. And is he going to be with Judgment Day? Now we know he is with Judgment Day. It was just too convoluted for me. They're telling the story of Dominic versus Rey Mysterio, his father, a lot better than the way AEW told Billy Gunn with Colton and Austin Gunn. They're doing the father versus son thing better, but it's just, I think these people can be involved in something. The story can be told better, or another story can be told. I think it's just it's kind of snake bit, and I just wish they would just get it over with so I could see what they're going to do with Dominic, because Dominic's still really young. I mean, I don't not a big fan of his work. He needs promo work and all this stuff, but I mean, I think he'll come around. I think they should have put the mask on him from the beginning. because he looks like 12 years old. I mean, it's hard for me to take him seriously just by looking at him.
Yeah.
That was with the thing with Rey Mysterio when he came out. The same thing. He looked 11, 12, 10 years old, but they had the mask on him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just waiting for this to be over so they can do something better with these people. So Rhea Ripley can go be a star, and so maybe Damian Priest can finally find himself and so forth. Because I think he has a lot of potential too. They need good big men. He's a big guy, and he has the voice, he has the look. So we'll see what they can do with him. I don't think Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor needs to either go down to NXT or go back to
Oh,
Japan or
wow.
something, because I think he's virtually useless in WWE right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Fair enough.
What is that going to give me some heat or what? Or
Well, that's down to the people on the Instagram community, because but you're on the winning streak so far, so you never know. You might be.
I am. You know what? I forgot about that. Right before you guys partied at Clash at the Castle, I started getting. I'm starting to get some momentum. The marks are coming around. Things my way. So slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
What's another match you want to talk about here? Because I'm trying to. I'm going off the top of my head. I didn't put this in my notes. What's going on?
I mean, there was Seth and Matt Riddle.
Okay, there you go. Let's talk about that for a minute, and I won't take very long. I want to take Matt Riddle seriously, and it seemed like the past couple of weeks that's the way that they're going or we're going. But dude, he comes out with the bro and the dude, and I get that's probably part of his personality, but he comes out dressed in neon and purple and highlighter yellow and highlighter green and the cap pulled to the side. Like if Riddle came out like with the demeanor that Pete Dunne used to have in NXT, I think I would like him more, and that would make him more believable. And as a matter of fact, weren't they a tag team in NXT?
Yeah, they were. They were in the Dusty Rhodes the classic. Yeah.
Okay, so if he came out like with a demeanor like the way Pete Dunne used to have, and the way Pete Dunne I think is probably going to be presented from now on, at least soon, maybe, hopefully, then I think I'd like him more. He'd be more believable because he's not a bad wrestler. It's just he's good. He's not like a headlock takeover, hip toss, run the ropes, whatever kind of guy. I mean, he can grapple, of course, because he has the shoot background. I mean, he's not bad, but I just think he just needs a little bit more experience and needs to change his character. I thought this match kind of felt flat.
Oh,
I wasn't a big fan of it. I think both of them, as much as they've been working together, they could have put on. They could have put on a better match. I think this should have been similar to what we saw with Sheamus and Gunther, right? A more of a fight presentation, because they've been motherfucking each other and talking about each other's families like on live air TV or whatever. And I don't know. I just thought it could have been a better story to tell. That I thought it could have been presented more like of a fight, shoot, brawl aspect of it, and we didn't get that. Like I said, overall, I think as much as they've been working with each other, it could have been better. So that was kind of disappointing. Who else did we have there? I'm all mixed up on because everything's been going on for the week. So
yeah, I mean, the other two matches which I don't really care for were unfortunately the women's matches: Damage Control against Bianca and Liv and Shayna.
Yeah, I could have done without that. It's just a big cluster. It was just a match for match sake. What I did like, what I did like? I did like the finish because Bayley pinned Bianca Belair, didn't she?
Yeah.
All right, then there you go. That's the only thing that good came out of that match, because now you got heat on the heel, and now we got a story to tell, because that was the first time Bianca's been pinned clean in was it 6 months or something, 9 months or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did good there. The Intercontinental title match. Bobby Lashley, was he on this show?
No, Bobby Lashley wasn't on it. No.
All right.
There was just the pre-show. Was it Madcap Moss and Street Profits against Austin Theory and Alpha Academy? But that didn't mean that. That didn't mean jack anyway. So
no, I don't want to talk about these people.
But yeah, like I say, it was a decent. It had the right amount of matches. There was only 6 matches. None of them felt too long. None of them felt too short. They were all appropriately been put together. So yeah, me and plus obviously we got a 5-star match out of it. Your boy Dave Meltzer rated it 5 stars. Sheamus against Gunther. So
well, sometimes even a blind pig can find the truffle. You know what I mean? So fuck Dave Meltzer and fuck. I'm giving my weekly fuck Dave Meltzer and fuck Brian Alvarez and fuck Denise Salcedo. So anyway, yeah, man.
yeah.
I just think that overall that match stole the show, and
Yes.
it highlighted what Gunther can do. Even though we had already seen what he can do, I think it's going to reinvigorate Sheamus to the crowd, and we saw that run, and it's elevating the Intercontinental title. So.
Yes. 3 yeses right there, 110%. You nailed them all on the head for sure. Okay, then. So that's Ignacio's thoughts on Clash at the Castle. We'll dive
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me on any of that. You think so?
Nah.
Other than telling, huh?
No, go ahead.
Other than telling Finn Balor to fuck off.
Yeah, everything else, but maybe that. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah. I still feel there's some unfinished business with Finn, but yeah, I think there's only so many times you can go to the well and see if things go his way. But I think I agree that they pretty much assassinated him when he faced Roman Reigns for the Universal title, and that whole dumb shit happened with the turnbuckle. I think that's what pretty much killed any momentum that Finn had, especially with that demon character anyway. So I don't know, maybe he has done anything. Yeah. But yeah, so that was Clash of the Castle. Now, obviously, we're going to the other pay-per-view that happened less than 24 hours later of that show, and that is, of course, AEW Lao. Now, this show was jam-packed, full of filler stuff. Like myself, Ben, and Soul. Well, you'd be pleased to know. I don't know if you might agree, may say something else, but Ben Allison, he pretty much said on the review show that this was pretty much one of probably their worst pay-per-view of the year.
It's really not looking good for AEW after what was, to be honest, a poor pay-per-view as well. But it really was the worst AEW pay-per-view with a crowd so far to date. And it really did feel like a slap in the face to people, who spent their hard-earned money to watch the event.
Really? The boss said that.
The boss, Ben Allison, said that. Yeah. Soul
said. Does he know I agreed with him? Because he'll probably change his mind then.
Well, we'll see what we probably say in the comments. We're gonna put this up, but yeah, Soul said it definitely was. There was a lot of filler, a lot of pointless decisions happen in that pay-per-view, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. It was definitely a lot of filler, a lot of weird decision making. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the overall show? And did anything stand out? What didn't stand out? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, Nate, and I know we're going to get into this later. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I think probably a lot of what we're seeing spill onto camera and what's going on booking wise is due to some of the issues they're having probably backstage.
100%.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that could be one of the contributing factors on why the show was so weak. But I think this is I don't know if it's the worst pay-per-view they've had, but I think it's probably definitely the worst pay-per-view overall for the year. And I think their pay-per-views are just getting worse, which is not good because they only got 4 a year, I believe. And then they got the specials that they put on the Fighter Fest and the Fallen one. And then, they got the Arthur Ashe show coming up. So yeah, they can't afford to have bad pay-per-views. So let's look at it. So let's see here. What comes to memory? Oh, well, okay. We'll start off with high and we'll end low. All right. So,
okay. Cool.
So I would bet that you or probably nobody on Wrestling Republic would guess what my favorite match was.
Mine would probably be, I would assume, probably Hobbs against Starks, maybe.
No, and I was kind of surprised at that. I'll get to that later.
Okay. No, I couldn't guess.
It was the tag team title match. Was my favorite match.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that, though. It was definitely
Because this was a fucking wrestling match. First of all, I like the fact that 90% of the match actually took place in the ring.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not too many flips, not too many flops, not too much gaga outside the ring. A little here and there, but I mean not really much. I mean, it was a tag team match. Bowens had the knee injury or sold the
Yes.
knee for a good majority of the time. The only thing that I can kind of, I guess, critique or didn't like was he would sell the knee, and then there was a spot where Keith Lee was on the ropes, and then him and Caster went up to suplex Lee off the top rope, and so he leaps up and then gets on the top rope to help Caster.
Yes.
He has a bad knee. I didn't like that. Little stuff like that here and there, but overall he sold the knee well. Caster sold his ass off too, and big old Keith Lee, 400-pound Keith Lee that I've been chastising for the past 6 weeks or so. Where every time I get on this show, every chance I get, I mean he did little, and that was good because he worked like a big man. I mean, there were some spots where he he does the double chop thing, and he did it, and he totally missed.
Yes.
Bowens.
Yeah.
And I guess whatever. But I mean, he worked like a big man, and I don't know. Were both these teams coming into it? Were they both baby faces?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. They're technically they were both baby faces, but definitely Swerving Of Glory was definitely the heel team.
Well, that's what I thought. I think in the middle of this match we were seeing a switch because
yes,
Lee and Swerve were starting to work heel, and I thought Keith Lee was pretty good at working a heel because he started doing this snarly, shit sniffing facials and working like a big man, not flip flopping or trying to go over the top rope or anything like that. I mean, there was a spot where he went to the top rope, but it was like a big man top rope spot. Like, oh shit, I really shouldn't be doing this, but I'm gonna do it because it's gonna help me win. And that's when he got caught and did the suplex thing. But yeah, I thought Swerve is really good. I didn't see what the big deal was him at first because I really didn't see that much of him in NXT. I would see him come out with Hit Row, and I was just kind of turned off by it, and I was just like, "Fuck these guys." And he sold well. He worked good as a heel. He's a good technical wrestler when he wants to be. He can do the high fly flip shit if you want him to, if that's what turns you on or whatever. But he has the facials. He's a good promo. He's got a lot of potential. Dude, I thought this was the match of the night. This is the match that stoked the show. And they had the crowd. The crowd was like red hot for this match. And everybody was saying that they should have called an audible and switched the titles.
Yes.
And dude, with a crowd that hot, that into a match, and they claim this over. Like more over than they've been in the 3 years that they've been there. And they love Billy Gunn. And I just think this was lightning in a bottle, and it's really hard to get like a moment like that back. And I know they're gonna try it because they already announced it. They're gonna try to do it at Arthur Ashe because was it Caster's from Long Island, and Bowens is too, I guess.
From New Jersey
area. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think this was the time to do it. I think they missed the boat on this one. They overshot or whatever. But either way, great match of the night, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Definitely was my favorite match of the show. I don't think anything could have was anywhere close to it, to be honest. And you know me, I love AEW. And I think even Soul agreed with me as well that this was definitely it was definitely the best match of the night. Close, very close second. The one in second was this was his words. Which will probably I want to get your thoughts on as well. Your boys, the Elite versus Hangman Page and the Dark Order. And obviously what in the trios match. And obviously Kenny Omega's slight little snide at people in the back as well when he was walking up the ramp. So what was your thoughts on that match? And then there's another match I want to get your thoughts on as well. But what do you think of the trios match?
I think it's complete garbage that these
Oh dear.
these titles shouldn't exist. These people shouldn't exist in the wrestling business. I hate all these people that are involved in this.
Oh wow.
You got the dark jobbers who shouldn't have jobs. Should be bagging groceries at a fucking Kroger's or what's the chain store that you guys have over there? What's a grocery store you guys have?
We have like Asda, we have Tesco's. Them kind of
Are they
places.
hiring because they should need to get in contact with Reynolds and what's his name? The little guy.
Oh, John
Silver.
John Silver, yeah.
Long John Silver should be working at Long John Silver's.
Oh, good.
The Elite. This was just a lot of flip flops, a lot of fly crap that I don't like, that I hate, that has ruined the wrestling business. That the Young Bucks help ruin the wrestling business in more ways than one, as we know already. When we'll get to that later. Kenny Omega, I think, you know what upsets me a little bit about Kenny Omega, or a lot, is that when he decides to have a serious match, and the Young Bucks too, for that matter, like with when they FTR or Omega and Danielson, or Omega and somebody who wants to take the business seriously, they can have a good match, but they choose not to, because they choose to be parodies and cosplay wrestlers and come up with shit like this. And we got to make up titles to keep them satisfied, to keep their egos in check, because Bucks don't want to put FTR over, and Omega just needs a title around him because just to keep the boss can keep him happy or whatever. So this match was crap. It was embarrassing. Anybody who wants to see a good 6-match tag match should check out SmackDown, like I said, because that's the way you do a 6-man tag match, not a trios match. They're not in Mexico or AAA or whatever, which is probably where they would rather be. They're over there. But I mean, I thought it was awful. It was embarrassing. I would discourage anybody to watch this match, because it's going to make you hate wrestling even more than what it's supposed to be. It's an embarrassment.
Okay. Fair enough. Each to their own, I guess. I mean, I thought this one, it was decent. I mean, there was some close points where I thought that obviously Dark Order was going to take it, but it made sense for them. It couldn't win to anyone else but Omega and the Bucks, because they kept back these top championships solely for Omega. So, all for him to pretty much get stripped of them in less than 24 hours. But yeah, it is what it is.
And the only one, look, let's say, I said I hated everyone, and I pretty much in this match, and pretty much I do. But the only one that I think that sees that I has potential is Hangnail Adam Page. And dude, I just his ship is sailing for more reasons than one, and we'll get to that later. But
indeed, we definitely shall. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, so there was obviously also the weird one in the bunch, but I guess it made sense at the end of it, but it was just really weird at the time when it happened, which was the casino ladder match. There was quite a lot of goobers in this one, I must say. Claudio, Yuta, Penta, Ray, Rush, Andrade, Dante Martin, all people that definitely there was no chance that they were gonna win. So that's what kind of made them all goobers. And then obviously just when they all came in, all of a sudden the ring gets invaded by all these people in black. Some random person goes up the ladder, ends up being Stokely, and then another person comes out in a devil mask and takes the chip. Then Justin Roberts says the Joker wins. Didn't say his name. Was about to avail himself. Said no. Walks to the ramp. When you saw that happen, was there any inkling you might have assumed that it was MJF, or what did you think of the how it all came together? What was your thoughts on that?
Well, first, as far as the match is concerned, I thought it was poo-poo to begin with, because it was obvious who was going to win, the Joker, whoever it was. Because I didn't think they were going to get, Yuta or Claudio or whatever. This match was obviously just thrown together for the purpose of what we saw at the end of the match. So I just took it for what it was. I don't like ladder matches, because I haven't seen a good ladder match in probably over 20 years, because they just turn out to be big spot fests. Turn out to be big spot fest. Like, if anybody wants to see a good ladder match, watch Shawn Michaels versus
I knew he was going to say
Razor Ramon, not WrestleMania 10, but SummerSlam 95, because that match was getting to the ladder to get to the titles. It wasn't get to the ladder to use it as a weapon or use it for a spot fest. the story they told. So watch that. Or even, you know, Triple H and Rock had a ladder match. I think SummerSlam of '99. I think there was like second to none back then. That's like a very very underrated ladder match. So go back and watch those. Those are ladder matches. Anyway, so getting back. So I didn't take this match for much of what it was. So as far as like the ending and the finish, I liked it because of where it took us at the end. And you asked if I absolutely knew it was MJF coming out just based on the person's mannerisms, the way he was walking and his demeanor and the way he entered the ring and stuff. I absolutely knew it was MJF. I didn't think it was anybody else. Like, you didn't think it was MJF?
No, it couldn't have been anyone else. Like I said, just from the participants and just just obviously it couldn't have been anyone else. But I just thought that it was just at the time it just felt kind of like just because it was something different. I didn't really see I didn't see it coming that he was gonna get, you know, these people that Stokely has been hiring. Is that basically Pinnacle 2.0? Like what's happening with it? So it was just really, really different. But like I said, because of what we got at the end, all makes sense. I'm totally happy with it.
I liked it. But like I said, like it's just like how this is MJF. How does not anybody know that this is? I even texted, you know, some friends of mine. I go, the Joker, and in parentheses, MJF just won the ladder match. You know, whatever, because I just figured it was Stokely. And for those of you who don't know, Stokely Hinklemeyer or whatever his last name is, Hathaway or whatever.
Yeah, Hathaway, yeah.
So yeah, him and MJF, they have history together. They were, I think, Stokely was his manager in the Indies.
Okay.
MJF. So I figure eventually they would put them together. So yeah, at the end, I liked it. It all made sense to me, and then it took us to where we eventually got to at the end. Do you want to talk about that now? You want to talk about the main event? Or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll just fill in obviously what all the fillers are in the match. So yeah. So it was CM Moxley.
As far as the match, I think it's one of Moxley's best garbage matches. Garbage wrestler. Because God, this guy should be working at a recycling factory or something. I don't know. I do think Moxley's one of those guys that he's a good promo, and for the most part, I think he has a good look and he's got a following. And when he wants to put on a good match, he can put in a good match, and that's what we saw here. But I don't think it wasn't Punk's best match.
No,
in my opinion, I think it was the second best match on the card. But I think the tag team match just kind of it was just like they were like a mile apart. They told a good story and all that stuff. It was just to get Punk over, with the Chicago crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just for a pop fest for Punk. And I thought it was okay for what it's worth. Now, this is what I was gonna get to before, everything happened with the backstage stuff. We'll get into, I guess, in a little bit. But MJF came out, revealed himself as the Joker, and the crowd popped, even a bigger pop than when Punk got when he came out.
100%.
And then the pop in Buffalo when MJF got when he came out. I'm like, dude, and I know I said it on the show that if the wrestling world doesn't get that larger than life character to lead this movement or generation of wrestling, to bring it back to where it was in the late 90s or whatever, if WWE can't find it or AEW, then it's going to be MJF. And MJF, dude, he's going to be whether he likes it or not, he is going to be the biggest baby face in the world eventually, when he decides he wants to be, if ever. But yeah, I like the story because I know I texted to you guys in the messenger, WhatsApp messenger, what have you, but I really did think, and now it's ruined, but I really did think that the rivalry of this generation or our times could have been like MJF versus CM Punk, because 100%. All the stories write themselves.
Yep.
It's this guy, we'll take CM Punk, this guy who's been the anti-authority, against the grain, punk rocker, whatever, tattooed, piercing, against the authority, what have you, guy who basically told Tony Khan and the Elite and all this is, fuck you, I don't like you guys. I'm going to do things my way, whatever have you, against MJF, who pretty much did the same thing. Said, Tony Khan, you're going to give me my money now, or I'm going to go to WWE, what have you. I hate this, hate this company. And yes, with at least on MJF's part, it was a work shoot that we know by now. But you got two guys that were believable, right? And that's the same thing that happened with Austin and Rock. You had two guys that were believable, who pretty much felt the same thing that the people can connect with, and that's all you needed to ignite a generation again and get them back into wrestling and move ratings, move merchandise, and that's all you need is two people that people can get attached to and believe in.
Yeah,
that's it. But of course, now we're not going to get that, and we'll get into that, I guess, in a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely no chance. And that's what really pissed me off. Like, why couldn't it have been anyone else but this? Like, why couldn't it have been, you know, a different scenario with, you know, why couldn't it be just anyone else? Like, what happened backstage? Why couldn't there should have been someone else? But it has to disrupt what could have been possibly one of the biggest rivalries or biggest matches of the year, or however long it goes. But yeah, the revealing of the whole situation was great. Obviously, with the voicemail, that was freaking awesome. I loved it. Nice touch. The replay of one of CM Punk's promos when he was in Ring of Honor was freaking great. Then obviously the eventual reveal definitely got the biggest pop of the night. Well, rightly so. And you know, a babyface pop, you know, and when he was clearly should be booed out of the arena, but yeah, it was just obviously just all this thing that's been built up for so long, and you finally get him. It was great. But yeah, like you said, we things have obviously changed, obviously, which we'll quickly get into as well. Actually, no, let's just finish off the card and then we'll get into the Instagram. So
absolutely.
So yeah, there was a couple squash matches, probably I think 3 squash matches, which I want to get your thoughts on. First off, one of your boy Powerhouse Hobbs squashing Ricky Starks in less than 5 minutes, according to Wikipedia. What was your thoughts on that? Do you think that was the right call?
Well, I don't know that Starks, like, does he? Well, first of all, I don't think these guys should have been separated, or these guys should even be wrestling each other. I think I think these guys should have won. Should have had a tag title run, but I mean, because I think they were just, well, if not in a group, Team Taz, they were just good together. I think they fed off each other well. And if you're gonna separate them, I don't know if putting them against each other was a good idea, because I think these guys should be working with people that are in the upper mid card or main eventers to help them guide them through to get them over, you know. But so the question I when we were doing the prediction show, the question was, well, so who do you get over? And obviously they see potential right now in Powerhouse Hobbs, probably to be a threat to whoever's going to be the AEW World Champion, or maybe Wardlow. And that's why they did it. But to bury Starks the way they did, I was like, damn, is he messing around with somebody's wife or something? Or did he fuck somebody from Turner's girlfriend or mistress or something? Or what's going on here? Because Starks was one of those guys, I think, that was a Cody Rhodes guy. And they felt that the Cody Rhodes guys, when Cody Rhodes left, were getting shafted or not getting as much TV time. And I know there was a time when Starks wasn't getting as much TV time because he has the neck injury. At least that's what I thought. But I don't know, man. I'm not saying the wrong person went over, because I think, you know, I like Powerhouse Hobbs and I like that he went over, and he's apparently going to be getting a push. But I don't know, man. I just don't like the way Starks is getting treated. You know, I don't think I'm alone in that either.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird, considering how much build up they've put towards this. You know, obviously the turn came out of nowhere for me. It was
if it was a timing issue, that they feel like they weren't gonna have enough time or whatever, because they wanted the main event to go longer or whatever, they should have taken out the fucking Elite Trios match.
I feel like there's other matches should have been taken out to give them more time for sure.
I'm biased.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. I can't say if it was a welcoming surprise or a good surprise. It was just a surprise for that. Just all this build up for such a quite blood feud just to go so short. But the right person won. I don't think Starks is going to be harmed by it. It was just the whole nature of it was just left field. The next short match was your boy Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. This one was only 20 seconds. What the fuck happened here?
Oh man!
Obviously the reports came out because Christian Cage did have an injury. But if that was the case, it should have just taken off the card. It just, this guy is, he's meant to be one of your 4 pillars, and you make him lose 20 seconds to an aging veteran. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, and this is another blood feud, which is over in 20 seconds. It was really baffling. I wasn't expecting a 5-star match, but just a decent outing from the two guys. And if one of them's injured, cut the match. It was really weird. What was your thoughts on this?
Well, I thought they could at least change it to.
Oh, sorry. And another thing, Luchasaurus is basically Big Show, just flip flopping between heel and face is really weird. Yeah, what was your thoughts on?
No, the same thing. But I mean, I had a feeling that that's where they were going, because Luchasaurus this whole time he never laid his hands on Christian Cage, like in every segment that they did together. So I think I knew that they were going to come around to it. It was weird how they did the story, and they should have went about it another way.
Yes.
It was what it was. Christian's hurt, so they had to. I don't know in between where he got hurt, because he hasn't been wrestling, or how long has he been hurt? Did he get hurt in training or something?
Probably, more than likely. Did
he get hurt counting Tony Khan's money, or I don't know, like large bills or gold bars or something? I don't know, but I mean, I kind of like what they were doing with Christian story wise, but yeah, they could have had Luchasaurus turn on Jungle Boy earlier and just, if anything, do a Jungle Boy Luchasaurus match. I like the idea of Luchasaurus being a monster heel, big monster heel guy. I think he should lose the mask and wrestle the way he was wrestling in his squash matches, wrestle like a big man, not like a 140-pounder. But yeah, this was just, they put it on TV to probably prolong the story when Christian Cage, whenever he gets healthier. But I don't think they need to do that at this point. I think, when is he going to be healthy? Because I hear he has like Christian, I think it's a torn tricep. Is it, or what is it?
Oh, so he's got a punk injury. If it's anything with the torn tricep, he is out for months.
That's what I'm saying. So just finish the story now. Maybe Jungle Boy needs to take a break and come back. To win a battle royal or something, the Diamond Battle Royal or whatever. But he needs to be revamped, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree. Yeah, they could have just go past this. It didn't really make sense. I'm just trying to find out what's wait, no, I was just double checking on Christian Cage. So CM Punk, it looks like it's is actually going in for injury. And it looks, it's very much so. It's definitely confirmed to be a torn tricep, so he's out for 6 to 9 months. Woo! Epic fail. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they can't. They got to go somewhere else. But I forget this whole thing. They're gonna definitely try and revisit it later down the line. But it was a bit of a weird. If that was the case, they probably should have let Jungle Boy win. Why give it to Christian Cage? But yeah, that was that match. And then of course the third match, which was quite a random squash. After all that hype, Jade Cargill against Athena. I know you wasn't really too hot on this match from the get-go, but after all the back and forth and them just biting at each other and stuff, only for the match to finish in 4 minutes. It was really out of nowhere. Jade Cargill, in my opinion, is rapidly losing potential people to take, or like anyone that's really built up big enough to take the title from her. So what was your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I didn't. The problem I had with this match was that they're not putting. If they want to keep Jade Cargill in the position she's at, that's fine. But you have to put her with people that aren't going to expose her for what she doesn't know, and she doesn't know how to work. And Athena doesn't have the experience that she doesn't have the experience to make Jade Cargo look good, I believe. And I thought that was the issue with this match and why they cut it short. I get that they're trying to get Jade Cargo more over with her undefeated streak and her look and the title and all that stuff. And pretty much what she's coming up on is she coming up on a year with the title?
Yes. Yeah. That was back in January. Yeah.
Or so we got some time. But I mean, so yeah, I think you need to put her with more experienced people. They're gonna make her like for example, like Serena Deeb or Thunder Rosa or maybe Britt Baker, some people that are gonna know how to make her look good. I just don't think Athena has that experience. I'm not saying she's green because Athena's been around for a little while, but she doesn't have the experience that those veterans have to make her look good. I think that's why this match shouldn't have occurred. Yeah, so that's the problem I have with the match.
Fair enough. But yeah, other than that, I think because of those matches were so short, I felt like those were just filler that could have been removed. Because there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was 11 matches, and that's not even counting what happened in the pre-show. And yeah, I understand. The pay-per-views are meant to, with AEW's model. It's meant to culminate all the storylines that's happening on the shows, because they only will have 4 pay-per-views. But I just don't think that should give them an excuse to just cram so many matches in a pay-per-view, and because the fans will eventually say, all right, this match is pointless. We don't need these kind of things to just make it less long and crammed. Couple of dumb decisions, I must say, as well, especially when it came to your boy Chris Jericho defeating Bryan Danielson. What was going through your head besides being triggered when this happened?
Dude, it's just that it's just, this thing shouldn't even been going on or happening. It's just, I know I'm getting I'm taking a right turn here or a U-turn, but it's just like there was another talent meeting with AEW and Danielson and Moxley and Jericho were in the. First of all, Jericho has no business leading a meeting of that nature when he's trying to bloodsuck every young talent that's there just to make himself relevant again. Like, he has no business trying to be a locker room leader. I'm sorry, but dude, this is garbage, and it makes Danielson look like trash. I mean,
I was really surprised when he lost. I was really surprised, and the way he lost.
They really missed the boat on Danielson. They just not that Bryan Danielson is impervious to burial because it's Bryan Danielson, but I mean, damn, you've been making him look like shit for the past 3 months. I don't get it. My thing is what's the end game with Jericho? Why are they doing this? That's why I'm scared. When I saw on Wednesday night that Jericho was in this tournament, because I wouldn't put it past Tony Khan to get a wild hair off his ass and put the title on Jericho again. I'm in fear for my life for that.
From what I can see from the IWC, that people are saying like they wouldn't say no to another Le Champion reign, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not really feeling that. I think that like the writing is on the person that should be. I know we're jumping ahead, but I'll just go ahead and say it. I think that the person right there that should give it to is Bryan Danielson. You know what I'm saying?
If they want to establish legitimacy with their company and that title, that's exactly what they'll do. But I mean, this match, it didn't make sense. It's Jericho trying to get over on people that are over, just to make himself relevant again. I don't see what the end game was with this. It doesn't make no sense. It's just trash because Jericho is trash. His music is trash. His wrestling is trash. His group is trash. He's garbage. He's a less than human being. If he didn't exist in the wrestling business tomorrow, it would be the best day of my life.
Oh God. Well, there you have it. So yeah, that was a weird decision on their part. Obviously the other trios match, Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro versus House of Black. Darby Allin, Sting, and they came out. Really weird match to be put together. That's another one, in my opinion. This match should have never happened. This whole feud should have never happened. Miro deserves to be better, be higher. If anything, he should be in the Tournament of Champions and probably take out either Guevara or Allen. Take and put Miro in, because he could be definitely a
threat.
A threat. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that it is what it is. And then another throwaway match was Wardlow and FTR against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. That was a throwaway match that should never happened. But it did. Got a lot of time. Did he get a lot of time? Yeah, it did. Flip almost 20 minutes. But yeah, it was
15 too long.
Definitely. But yeah, it is what it is. You know me, I love AEW. But yeah, this one was pretty weak by AEW standards, especially this year. This was my least favorite pay-per-view from theirs this year. Which is most likely this might end up being on my top 10 worst list. Just let this forewarning you. So yeah, it was it is what it is. But yeah, forget all that. Let's talk about the real main event now, which is of course the media scrum, with all the stuff that's happening with CM Punk. You sure everyone knows by now. We went rogue, talked shit about the EVPs that couldn't manage the target. Love that line. He went nuts at Hangman Adam Page. He went nuts at he went nuts on Scott Colton. Yep, absolutely went nuts. And was even throwing shots at MJF and all that kind of stuff. Which I think that was kind of in character, but still. And then at the end, I think during someone else that came on, you see security go to the left, in the background, trying to rush to a certain area. Turns out that was a big melee. People got bitten. Cheers were thrown. Someone got knocked out allegedly. Someone is left with a black eye. All this kind of stuff.
Dogs were involved.
Yes. Someone with a broken leg was in the room. All kind of madness has happened.
You can't write this shit.
You absolutely can't write it. You could be the best booker, you couldn't write it. And ultimately, it ended up with Omega, Nakazawa, Coulter, Bucks, CM Punk, all suspended. Pat Buck also suspended as well. The AEW title and the tag team title, the trios titles have been vacated. When you saw the packages, it looked like they basically effectively got Thanos. They got erased. They couldn't even no one said their names or anything like that. League lawsuits have been launched in this. Third-party investigators. There's chances that CM Punk, on top of that, CM Punk also is injured with a triceps injury. He's out for 6 to 9 months. I mean, like you said, you can't write an absolute shit show. What was your thoughts when all this happened? And could you believe? And do you think, and more importantly, because we need to get this out there, do you think it is a work?
As much as I wanted it to be a work shoot, just like with MJF's deal, I don't think it is. I think probably beyond most of us believe that it's not. But I know that the fans have already digested this stuff, regurgitated it. So I'll try to be quick as far as what I think of the situation. Number one, nobody looks good here, and nobody. The way things went down, nobody's in the right. Everybody's wrong. There's some things that I agree with Punk and what he said and what he did, and there's some things that I just don't. I don't agree with the way that he went about presenting and announcing things. Because I do believe that a lot of this stuff is the reason why AEW television, I believe, in my opinion, hasn't been up to par, or why the pay-per-view was lackluster, is that we have a lot of the backstage stuff spilling over. And it's not just CM Punk and the Elite. It's with the issues with Thunder Rosa. It's the issues with Eddie Kingston. It's with probably a lot of other issues that we don't even know about yet. And it all starts and ends with Tony Khan, and the fact that I think that Tony Khan just doesn't have a handle on his company.
Yeah.
I think it was wrong for CM Punk to kind of. I understand that it was his press conference where it was his time, but I think it was wrong for him to kind of hijack it and speak for Tony Khan when I believe Tony Khan as an executive, there was a lot of points that he should have entered and said, "Hey, that's enough." But he just basically ran him over. And there's a saying I heard in my profession. One of my colleagues or superiors said that you get what you tolerate. And if you allow people to run over you, they will always run over you. And those who see them run over you will run over you. And I think that's what happened with Tony Khan, that he's allowed CM Punk to run over him. So CM Punk ran over him in live television or live YouTube or whatever the press conference was. And I think that was bad. It was not good for Punk to do that. Punk wanted to get a message across, and I love CM Punk, but I don't think that was exactly the way he needed to do it. I think this could have been taken care of backstage, behind closed doors. I don't understand why CM Punk decided to run down Colt Cabana and air all the dirty laundry that they had when Colt Cabana hasn't said anything, I believe, right?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Hasn't said anything or done anything publicly anyway. Publicly, maybe behind the scenes, but Colt Cabana hasn't said anything publicly as far as his issues with Punk. I don't think there was any reason for CM Punk to do that. I was kind of disappointed that he went that route. I don't think bringing all this dirty laundry out was good for the country or good for anybody. There was another issue that I had with, but overall, I thought this was very bad and unprofessional on Punk's part. And let's take the wrestling aspect out of it and what I think about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and what I think about their wrestling. They're executives with that company, and you can't just go on a media scrum like that or a media press conference like that and run down executives for the company that you work for without repercussions. Now, who knows what exactly their responsibilities are, because they've never actually said or announced that, but they're executives by title. They're officers of Tony Khan's company. And you just don't go out and run down executives like that. All this stuff needs to be handled behind closed doors. And I think if Tony Khan got a grip on his organization, his executives, and his talent, I think he could have squashed this a long time ago. Months ago. Like when Hangman Page, quote unquote, went into business for himself, I think it could have been squashed since then. But I think Tony Khan just thought that these issues were going to take care of themselves in a diplomatic way. And guess what? They didn't. And that's why we got what we got afterwards.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the thing. What I've come to realize is that Tony Khan, he needs to stop being a friend and be a boss. You know, he's like, and I think now was definitely a wake up call for him to do that. I mean, I know for a fact if CM Punk went to WWE and he may have had backstage issues and stuff, there's no chance in hell he would ever do that if Vince was still in charge. No way in hell. Because Vince, sure, he has his, his favorites, he has his takers, he has his Triple H's and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he makes sure that everyone knows that he is a boss, not a friend. Tony, that was definitely Tony Khan's fault on that part. I don't agree with what CM Punk did. Definitely, it was way unprofessional. Now it's caused, damage to the company's reputation and messing up every old plans and whatnot.
I mean, I understand. I understand why he's upset. These people allegedly who probably didn't like Punk from the beginning because they had heard stuff about him in WWE and so forth. And assumptions were probably made with Colt Cabana or whatever. They moved him to ROH and rumblings were going on. The thing with Hangman happened. And then over the course of, I guess, a couple of months, things were still happening. Punk got upset about it and just decided to bring it to the forefront the way he did. When I think if he would have been handled, I think if he would have just went to Tony Khan and the EVPs and said, "Hey, motherfuckers, if you guys got an issue with me, then we need to address it now. Because if not, I'll just walk out of this company. Because you know what? I don't need the money because I'm doing X, Y, Z or whatever. I'm here to help your company, and so we all can make money." Which they have been making money
Yeah.
because Punk's been the biggest draw since he got there, and they had
Yep.
their first $1 million gate since he got there. But I think that's the way he should have handled it instead of taking everything public like he did. Now, going back to, I mean, executives of a company were assaulted and all this mess. I mean, I just really do think that, number one, I think Tony Khan, after the suspensions are over, need to relieve the Bucks and Omega of their EVP ship or executive positions because of the way they handle these things or the way that these things escalated. I think it would just be better for the company if they didn't have talent so close to involved in the administration like this, at least in this company. Triple H was one thing. None of these guys are fucking Triple H or as mature as they are, as mature as he is. So none of these people in this company deserve to have well, not everybody. There's maybe one or two guys that I think can be in the office without having any issues like this, or mature enough to handle that position. But Bucks and Omega, no. I think they need to be removed from their executive vice presidentship. And Punk, I believe, as much as I like it and love it, I think that he should probably be fired. And maybe under no fault of his own, but I think he's just, at this point, more of an issue to the locker room than Tony Khan can handle. If this was WWE, I think it'd be different, but I think Tony Khan can't handle Phil Brooks or a CM Punk.
Yeah.
Now, I think it'd be best just to get rid of everybody. I think everybody needs to go back to being a lot better. I don't think the Omega and the Bucks should be there either. I think they should be removed or terminated as well. And I think things would be a lot better. But that's probably not going to happen. We're going to see suspensions, and if anything, we're going to see suspensions. And then I really do think that Tony Khan will probably remove Kenny Omega and the Bucks from their EVP ships, and I think he's still on the border of maybe getting rid of CM Punk or firing CM Punk. But I think we're going to see that happen because I think the locker room is in favor of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega on their side. In other words.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem effectively that he's pretty much done with the company because, like I said, he's pretty much out for 6 to 9 months. Yeah. And obviously, so either way, even if this never happened, he would have been gone for a long time. So, and clearly, it's a bad omen to anything. Anytime you put the title on him, just bad luck. Just bad luck.
Well, it's snake bit. That's something else I was going to get into. It just, at this point with Punk, it just seems snake bit. I mean, it's just this. He wins the title. He gets hurt. This happens with the media press conference with the scrum. Then the backstage thing. Then he gets hurt. I mean, it just seems like it's snake bit. I think they just need to, when the time's right, just shake hands and say, "Hey, this isn't working out. I'm out of here." Or let's just go our own way.
It's just bad timing because obviously he's also the face of the AEW game as well, and he's like the highest merch sales and stuff. So it's just, of all people, it had to happen to CM Punk. Obviously, I love it when I love CM Punk as well. Anytime he does a promo, it's almost memorable most of the time. The fuse the run that they had was pretty good. They got a good, decent year out of him. Yeah. He did what he could, but yeah, this one he definitely showed nothing with it.
He tore his tricep. What, swinging a punch or something?
No, he did a tope. He did a tope. By I think he did like I don't remember seeing it in the match, but he did a tope onto John Moxley, and apparently that's the moment where he popped it.
I mean, it's just if somebody's gonna be injury prone like that, is that something you wanna invest your top spot in? Your top man in the company, somebody who's going to be injury prone. I hate to say it because, like I said, I love Punk. I think Punk is very good for the wrestling business, but it's just like, man, it's just, I think it's just snake bit. I think they're best parting ways.
Yeah, 100%. And also another thing, of business wise, I got a feeling like if Khan really wanted to choose, I think he would rather lose one than lose three. As much
Sure.
as what you think about Omega and Bucks, I think you'd rather lose one than three, and then go into the other company. You know, because right now WWE is looking pretty decent now. That it's crazy how things have turned.
Yep.
WWE was the place to not go, and now it's looking pretty juicy over there. So
That's what I'm saying. And this isn't the time. This isn't the time for all this foolishness.
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Tony Khan needs to get a handle on this quick. And I think they should fire everybody. It's like I said before. If it was the old days, Bill Watts would have fired everybody for a month and then brought them all back and said, "Hey, either we turn this into a fucking angle and make some money, or else you guys aren't coming back."
Yeah.
And then there you go. But it's not the old days anymore, so you can't do that. Yeah, I just think this isn't the time for this to be happening, and Tony Khan just needs to get a handle on things. That way they can move forward.
Yeah, 110%. Basically, I'm going to be talking about a little thing going onto WWE side of things. There's been future plans that's been revealed for his title reign, Roman Reigns. Obviously, he's kept the title from his Clash of the Castle, and obviously he's kind of running out of title challengers. So there's been some reports from WrestlingNews.co. They said that someone has told them within the creative process that there is currently no plans for Roman Reigns to lose the championships in 2022. The next time Reigns will defend his titles is going to be at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia in November. And he's pretty much got the night off for Extreme Rules on October 8th. What's your thoughts on that with Roman Reigns keeping the titles till most likely looks more than likely to WrestleMania?
I don't have an issue with it or a problem with him limiting his appearances, because I think it keeps him fresh. I think it keeps the titles fresh, and that you got to stay tuned to TV and watch the pay-per-views to see when the champion's going to come back or make an appearance. I like that. That's an old Hogan thing. Like Hogan at one point in the early 90s, like the only time you got to see Hogan was on pay-per-view. All right, they had to build up for the pay-per-view match to defend the titles, and that's when you had to pay to see Hogan. You had to buy the $30, $40, $50 pay-per-view to see Hogan. And I don't have an issue with it, especially when now it seems like they're investing more time elevating the mid-card titles, the US and Intercontinental title. So I don't have an issue with it. Roman Reigns is a star. He's the biggest star for that company, and arguably the biggest star in the wrestling business. So I don't have a problem with it. Limit his appearances, keep him fresh, keep him healthy. Have him come out, do his promos or whatever, which is he's doing really great at. Give more time to the bloodline, like to the Usos, and they're doing really good with the Usos and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
So I don't have an issue with it. And then Silla Sikoa now, it's just, it's good not to see the champion every week. It's just like kind of like, I guess you can say it's an old school thing. It's just like it just makes him more special and more important, I guess. So I don't have a problem with it. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to defend the title on every pay-per-view, just maybe the big 4 or big 5 or 6 a year or whatever. Definitely WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam,
Saudi Arabia as well.
And one of the Saudi Arabias, and I'm fine with that. That's good. And maybe once a year on either Raw or SmackDown, and that's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm loving it. He's well deserved. He's been one of the most entertaining parts of WWE now. It's more and more likely to look like they're waiting for either Roman Reigns versus Cody at Mania or Roman Reigns versus The Rock at Mania. If it was Roman Reigns and Rock, I don't think the title should be on the line, but it is what it is. If it is Roman Reigns and Cody, definitely 110% for the titles. But we'll see what happens. I'm totally fine. Obviously people saying, "Oh, this is basically he's a part-timer now." No, he's not a part-timer. He's just more of a very special, not attraction, but it just makes him more valuable to make things more sense. I've seen him every week and whatnot before. Otherwise, you just feel like he doesn't feel special. So totally agree with what they're doing right now. Makes sense. I'm all for it, man. I was Team Reigns for Clash at the Castle, so that's what he does. But yeah, before we end the show, be sure to go check out the next episode of the Soul Sessions He's gonna be interviewing his next guest is gonna be Jake Logan from Control Your Narrative, and he's gonna be discussing with Mr. Logan about what's his thoughts on Braun Strowman leaving for WWE. So be sure to check that out. That'll be coming out very soon. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Wrestling Republic on that. Whilst you're doing that, make sure you follow us at Wrestling Republic on Instagram, as well as official_TITTT for all the Take It to the Table news. Yes, that's what we have to say on that. But yeah, thank you very much, Ignacio, for joining us for this episode. This has been Take It to the Table, guys. I've been your host, Chaos. Until next time, guys. Peace.